Hello, friends. Happy Team Talk Tuesday. Happy April 1st. Happy first day of social media boot camp. It was awesome. If you missed the replay, be sure that you hop into that group if you registered and go watch it. It was so good. I have a whole list of things. We do have a guest speaker tonight. I'm really excited to hear from her. But we do have some really quick things that we need to just chit chat about really quick. We're not really going to chit chat about it. I'm just going to tell you what they are. And if I miss anything, you guys can drop it in the chat, okay? So a new month means a new whiff box, a new warmer of the month. And then we have some pretty big things that we're working on. We're still working on our blackout bingo. Tell me in the chat, how did you do last month after have you tallied up all of your I might even need to print a new worksheet because mine's a hot mess express over there. And I feel like because we're tracking ourselves, I'm going to print a new one and redo it. But I feel like I've seen some of your guys' work and you guys have been marking the things off the blackout bingo. Um, we did start our active in April today. So make sure you look at your team page for that. It has all the details that you need on your team page. Kicked off the social media boot camp today. So let's do a little happy dance for the people who registered for that. That's a 4-week course. Inner Circle registration is going to be opening up. You'll find that on your team page. I don't think they've gone up yet, but be on the lookout for that. And then we have some Air Quad promos. I don't know why. I even had to go back to make sure that's what it was. I keep calling it a quad air. So if I say that, forgive me. It's going to happen more than once this month. Um, Anyways, so there's a join promotion, $149. They get the linen colored one, some pods that Scentsy going to choose for them. You can still get the $99 kit, don't worry. And then you can use it as a host exclusive. It normally takes 2 half price items to get an Air Quad half price, but for this month, you can get it half price for one. One half price item can get you that item half price instead of 2. Okay, so lately on Team Talk, we've been talking about sponsoring and we've been talking about getting new customers because right now, those are very important things in our business, right? I think we can all agree on that. So in Canada, our guest speaker was a world tour speaker, and she talked to them at her world tour about getting new customers. So her name is Kathryn Gibson. I'm going to let her introduce herself and teach us. I have my notes ready. I'm excited. Have her teach us how she gets new customers. So I'll pass it to you.
Thanks, Jessica. Uh,
Yeah.
okay, so first of all, I'm a hot mess. We had an ice storm here over the weekend. Not like here, but around here. And anyway, it's been crazy. But and my AirPods are super dead, so hopefully you can hear me with my normal voice. My name is Kathryn. I've been with Scentsy for 14 years. I am a superstar director for Team Faith Trust and Purple Pixie Dust. And I am going to have my notes up on my screen. So if my face is doing weird things, it's because I'm looking at them. And sorry about that, but I need notes. So what I have learned in my 14 years in business is that the one thing, I don't like to boil everything down to one thing, but one thing that comes up repeatedly when I've had, well, through experience, and also when I've had conversations with consultants who were kind of on their way out, they were giving up their business, was that the thing that they failed to do, or the thing that successful consultants did do, was learning how to meet new customers, right? When we launch our business, we're excited. We tell everyone we know. We host a launch party. We get a few orders. And maybe some of those people love the product and come back to you to reorder. But after that, if you don't learn to meet new people, your business will fizzle out pretty quickly, right? You need to learn to follow up with those people, which is a different training, and you need to learn how to find more people and to continue finding more people forever and ever and ever. Amen. Because not everyone who buys from you will continue to buy from you, whether you follow up or not. Just that's the way business goes. So I looked up in preparation for these notes and this topic, I looked up my launch party from January 2011. And in that party, I had 15 ordering guests. Now, most of them came to my house to experience the product. Some were coworkers, some were out of province. But anyway, there were 15 ordering guests. Great party. I certified that month. Of those 15 guests, only 4 of those people have ordered from me in the last year. So if I had been relying on my launch party supporters to keep my business going for the last 14 years, I wouldn't have a business. I just wouldn't. So the sorry, my words. The focus this year in Scentsy, if you haven't noticed, is like growing a garden, right? Bud, bloom, and blossom. So if we want our business to have continuous growth and be in various stages of budding and blooming and blossoming or planting, we need to constantly be planting seeds and caring for them. Okay. Seeds are like when we meet a new person. That doesn't mean they're a customer right away, but it's when we make contact with somebody and become friends with them. And if we always have new contacts, then we will always have fresh customers, new hosts, and new teammates because they'll all be at some progression in that Scentsy journey at any given time. So I'm going to talk really briefly about how we can do that and what it looks like. And we're going to cover 3 main ways if you're jotting down notes. We're going to talk about in person, online, and word of mouth. Okay. My notes reformatted themselves magically. So if I'm squinting or get lost, that is why they are all over the place. And I want to make sure that I get everything. So the first thing we're going to talk about is in person. In person is the OG, original, best way to meet new people. And even better than just in person is parties. Home parties are the original, most effective way to gain new customers. Think about when you see someone promoting their business online, they say, I saw somebody today say, I wrote a book. It's on Amazon now, and this is the book. And I looked at it, I was like, well, that's kind of weird. I don't think I would buy that. However, if somebody I know and trust said, oh my goodness, so and so wrote a book, I read it, it's about this, I love it so much, you should really check it out. Well, I trust that person. I trust my friend who's recommending it. So the same thing, when you get a customer host to have you and their friends in their home or in your home or in some social setting, you are tapping into the like relationship equity that they have with their friends, with their guests. They automatically trust you because they trust their friend who invited them. And that is what opens the door for you guys to have a relationship. So in-person parties are really the gold standard for making new contacts that will trust you and you can build a relationship with. Other ways to make new contacts in person, of course, events and shows. I I get the impression that events and shows are a little bit of a different beast in the States than they are in Canada, or maybe I just don't go to a lot of them. I know that there are some really huge fairs that go on for weeks or several days and consultants with huge booths. Personally, I have done many small events. I've never paid more than, I think, $50 for a table, and they've been like 4 hours or 6 hours, often in, excuse me, a school gym, a retirement home. I have one small table, and so I'll bring what I have. I'll bring my mini warmers and my bars and my bulbs, and I'll bring a drawing slip and whatnot. But my focus is more than selling and making my money back that day. It's meeting new people, and whether that's people shopping, whether it's other vendors, or people who work at the establishment where the event is. I will always make sure to go around and meet everybody, get their contact information, and follow up with them the next day. Say, hey, this is Kathryn from whatever show. It was so nice meeting with chatting with you, meeting you, whatever sounds natural to you. I do a voice message if I can. And that in itself, in these very small events, has led to so many repeat customers, hosts, and recruits. Like several I can think of off the top of my head right now. So that's another great way to just get out and meet new people. It does not have to be a big deal. You don't need thousands of dollars worth of stock. Please, please don't buy thousands of dollars worth of stock, especially if you're just starting out. Consider displaying your starter kit or your scent of the month kit, display something small. I saw another superstar director shared on the weekend. She did an event just with fragrance flowers. All she showed was fragrance flowers. She had testers for the fragrances. She got rid of all of them. She got a recruit. She had people booking parties. Keep it small. Like you don't have to do everything. You literally just want to meet people and have a way to stay in touch with them. So that's a lot of talk about meeting in person. The point is not just to meet people and give them something, though. Remember, get their contact information. Okay. I train my team, never give out a sample without getting contact information in return. Okay. Anything that you leave places or just pass out, that costs you money, it costs you time. So make sure you're getting contact information in return because as you follow up with those people, you build a relationship with them, they will become your new customers, they will become your new hosts, and they will become your new teammates, and that will carry you through the next season in your business. So let's move on to online. I'm just gonna have a sip of water. I'm gonna talk about um, two main ways to make new contacts online that I do personally. Two, three, sorry. I misread my notes already. Okay. One is totally free. Actually, they're all pretty much free. Anyone can make a Google My Business page. Do not ask me how to do it. It changes all the time. Ask ChatGPT, Google it, but you can create a Google My Business page. You can link it to your PWS. You don't need an external website or anything fancy like that, but local people will be able to find you on Google. Okay. I have gotten a handful of new contacts this way. Not the most productive, but it's free. And it's one way to get your name out there. The second free way is and probably most of you have this already, but a Facebook business profile or page. Again, free. Also passive, right? Both of these are kind of a passive way. They're the equivalent of leaving a catalog on a table somewhere. Someone might pick it up and look at it, but they might not. And that's not really a great way to build a business. It's okay to do in the background, but we want to be proactive about building our businesses. So my favorite way to generate new leads, and I had slides for World Tour, but I don't actually own the slides, so I can't share them, but I will show you what I do. So every month I get the scent of the month, right? Of course. And every month I make samples, and every month I will take a picture of my samples. I'll take them with my face, or I'll post another picture of myself, in my Scentsy shirt with a bunch of boxes, or at a Scentsy event, something that makes it clear that I'm the Scentsy person. I got ahead of myself. Rewind. Um, we are all in Facebook groups, okay? Like a million billion Facebook groups about hobbies, interests. The ones that I really like to hang out in are for local neighborhoods in the area that I live in. Like not just the town I live in, but like the neighborhood that I live in. And in those groups, they have a designated day to share your business once a week. So on that day, every week, I make a post. And at least once a month, I'm offering a sample, a scent of the month sample, or it might be just a new scent that I like. It doesn't matter. But I will offer samples and my post. So I'll have, a picture of the samples, a picture of me holding the bar or whatever. My post will say this, and I will actually copy and paste this in the comments. I highly recommend rewording it to sound like you, but let me just grab this. I'll do it after. Because however these notes are done are wacky. But my post will go like this. It will have a personal photo, okay? Never ever will I post a flyer. Personal picture. Hey neighbors, it's your friendly neighborhood Scentsy lady. I can speak. Celebrating 14 years in business this month. I've got a fresh batch of sample up for grabs. Claim yours in the comments. And then I always tag my Facebook business page so people can go like and follow it. And I also, I'll put a scent description or whatever. If there's a special or if I have an order going in, I'll say, ask me if you qualify for free shipping. I also always put a disclaimer on my post. This is a personal preference, but I think it's a really friendly, nice thing to do. I will always say, if you have a Scentsy girl or guy, please reach out to them for samples. I know they'd love to hear from you. This shows people that I'm not like an icky business person. I'm not trying to steal anyone's customers. It shows potential customers that, and it shows other consultants that yes, I'm out there working my business, but I am not out in the business of poaching customers. There's customers for everybody. So just because I'm going out and getting some doesn't mean I'm going out and taking theirs. So when people reply or comment, I will respond to their comment. I will like their comment. I will answer with a full sentence, and then I will send them a message. I'll say, thank you for your interest. Have you ever tried Scentsy before? I engage them in a conversation. This is already building a relationship. Have you tried Scentsy before? They answer either yes or no. If they say yes, I say, perfect. Do you have a consultant that you normally order from? And if they say yes, I will recommend strongly that they reach out to that consultant. I say, you know what? I don't want to take anybody's customers. Reach out to so and so, see if they can help you out with the samples. And sometimes it's been like, oh, they quit, or oh, they don't really work it, or they moved away. But I always try first to send them to the customer they've ordered from in the past. If they have never tried Scentsy, perfect. Either way, yes or no, it's perfect. I will bring you a sample. Would you like a hard copy catalog? Would you like digital? I get their address, or I get them to pick it up from my place, just depending. So if they live in an apartment building, I'll see if they can pick it up, or I'll pop it in the mail if I can. I keep a list every time I do this of who I send samples to and follow up the next week. And my follow up will sound like, hey, first name, hey, Susie. My follow up example is always Susie. Hey, Susie, how was your weekend? I wanted to check and see how you love that sample last week. And then I'll let them know that I have a group order going in. Would they like to add something? And I remind them I put a group order in every week for locals. You can pick up from my porch, save on shipping, whatever, whatever. If they are not ready to order, which they often are not, that's totally fine. But we're Facebook friends now, and I continue to build the relationship. They see what I post. What I post is positive or fun or funny. And I do continue to follow up from time to time, invite them to my VIP group once they order. If they do order, or when they do order, I bring up hosting or joining. Um, I do this whole offering samples thing in a couple, literally like two groups. And while often I get no response, which I know is really discouraging, but it's most of the time I get no response. But every once in a while, I will get a whole bunch of requests. And those people often turn into my most loyal supporters, customers, hosts, even teammates who have like promoted up to director. And even if they don't buy from me often, they will tag me when somebody in the group is looking for a consultant. So it really is a great free way to proactively go out there and make new contacts. And now I'm out of breath. How am I for time? So far, so good.
Yeah, you're good. Thank
Okay,
you.
cool.
This is
Okay,
good.
just checking. All right, so a little bit more about online. Not so much about making new contacts, but about posting intentionally so that, as I'm adding new contacts all the time, what they're seeing is good and moving them towards, the Scentsy life. I post my own photos. Like I said before, never ever a flyer if I can help it. The odd time, you kind of have to. I try to keep flyers in my VIP group if I really need to use them. But I take my own photos. So I make sure I have bright natural light, go in front of a window. If I filter my photos, I use the same filter on every single one. If I'm posting on Instagram stories or something where I'm putting words on a picture, I try to use the same couple of fonts and couple of colors every time. So that is building kind of a brand. I'm not like super precious about it, but people recognize my posts. They know what the inside of my house looks like. So if I post, pictures from somebody's dark house, they're going to know it's not me. So it's just a small way that you can build trust with people, and people do business with people that they know, like, and trust. So make sure that when you're posting, if you go to all the effort to bring all these new people into your network, make sure that what you're posting is authentic to you so that you are building trust with those new contacts. And then post intentionally. I don't just post for the sake of posting. I will always have a goal. So what am I looking to gain? If I'm looking to gain orders, I'll share a beautiful picture of wax or of a warmer or whatever I'm using. or a story of how the product makes my day better. Every week, Wax Wednesday, I'll walk around changing my wax and my pods. Um, if I'm looking for hosts, maybe I'll take a picture of all the host rewards from my last party and say, my last host got all this for so much money, or ask them to guess how much the host paid for all those rewards. Or I will often just do the selfie with the bag of testers, or if you have a specific borrow bag that you hand out, I'm looking for somebody to take this bag around for the next week. It can be simple. It should be you and engaging, ask a question, get people in conversation. Okay. And if I'm looking for recruits, I'll share consultant perks, like how I get early access to new products. This is something I do. Um, I think it's subtle. Maybe it's not subtle, but when I get my scent and warmer of the month, we get it pretty early here in Canada. We bill earlier. So usually by the middle of the month, I have it, and I always unbox it for my team first because there's still plenty of time for my team to subscribe and get the scent or warmer of the month. And seeing my response, and I will always explain how I use the scent and warmer of the month kit. And then as soon as I've shown it to my team, I'll go live in my VIP group and show it to them. And every single time I'll say, this is a perk of being a consultant. We get early access, blah, blah, blah. Anytime I get a prize, an award, scent of the month, anything like that, I always highlight consultant perks. It's not a straight up join my team message, but I'm pointing out the perks for being a Scentsy consultant. So the point being in all of those cases is to get conversations started. I think we would love if there was like some magic post that would just have people begging us to book parties or begging us to join our team. But really, the goal is to start conversations, right? Conversations are kind of what's between where we are right now and everything else that we want in our business. If you want orders, you need to have conversations. If you want hosts, conversations. And if you want recruits, conversations. So the more ways that we can engage people authentically, the closer we'll be to those conversations and the results that we're after. Okay, that was a little bit of a tangent. The last area we've covered in person, we've covered online, both passive and proactive. And now we're just going to talk about word of mouth and how you can gain new contacts through word of mouth. That's really my favorite, I think, because all I have to do is do a good job of being a consultant, and then my customers do the rest. There's two main ways that you can harness the power of word of mouth. One is customer reviews. So remember, we talked about the Google My Business page or the Facebook business page. Customers can leave reviews for you on both of those places that will be visible to the public. So what you can do is work that messaging into your follow-up with your customer. Hey, Susie, there she is again. Are you loving your new warmer in bars? What's your favorite scent? I'm so glad you like it. Thank you so much. Did you get the thank you I sent you? If you have a minute, would you mind leaving me a 5-star review? Or if you feel like you can leave me a 5-star review, I would super appreciate it. It would really help my business. And then give the link to your Google My Business page or your Facebook business page and have them leave a review. And then I'm not sure on Facebook, but for sure on Google, you can respond to the review as the business owner. So I will always go on and thank them so much. And, I appreciate their support, blah, blah, blah. So that is huge because they're visible to the public. So when people are looking on Google or are looking on your Facebook business page, they can see your reviews. You can also, screenshot them, or you can make them into cute. I've seen people do like cute graphics with them on Canva, and you can highlight your customer reviews. If someone gives you a glowing review, highlight that in your kind of your marketing and your advertising. So the other way to use word of mouth to get new customers, new contacts, is asking for referrals. And I like to think of it as the less scary cousin of hosting a party. So maybe you have a customer who loves Scentsy and buys it all the time, but they will not host a party, not even a bag party. But they probably have at least a friend or two who also love Scentsy. So ask them when they place an order. Okay, so before you give them their total, I've started doing this. Um, I have to remind myself all the time, but I am doing this more consistently. Um, so, they give you an order for their 6 bars and you say, thank you so much for your order. You make great choices. By the way, before I close this, who do you know who might want to try Scentsy? Or who else do you know who might need refills? Another way I can phrase this is, I'm this far away from this order qualifying for free shipping. If you know anybody else who needs refills, like please let me know. But I try as often as possible to say, who do you know, rather than if you know, because when you say if you know, or like if you need anything, if you know anyone, let me know, they're not going to let you know. They're going to forget about it immediately. But when you ask, who do you know? It's open-ended and it will like trigger their brain to start thinking about people. Um, and they may not think of referring people to you if you don't ask. They may not realize that you need more customers. Not everybody really understands how this business works. So it's up to us to let them know that we're looking for referrals. And if you do that consistently, it may take a time or two or three or five or 20 times, but eventually they'll refer someone to you. And if you can afford it at where you are in your business, you can absolutely reward referrals. You can give them a scent of the month bar or a scent circle if you can afford it. But just being genuinely thankful is enough for most people. They want to help you, they want to see you succeed, and referring their friends is a great way that they can do that. And just make it a habit of making it part of your conversations, asking for referrals. Who do you know? So just commit that part to memory. Who do you know? Who do you know who wants Scentsy? Who do you know? That's also a great recruiting question, but we're not talking about recruiting today. Okay, so we are going to recap really quickly a why. Okay, to have a thriving, growing business, we need to consistently add new contacts who will become our customers, hosts, and teammates. How to do that? We want to intentionally, proactively meet new people, both in person, online, and through word of mouth. All three together will make a really strong start. And then what that looks like. It looks like parties, events, online visibility with Google and Facebook, for example, proactively offering samples in exchange for contact information and asking for referrals. I know I talked a lot, but it was really as simple as just those things. So I hope that helped a little bit. Does anyone have questions? Do you want me to copy and paste that verbiage into the thing? The thing.
Would you copy and paste that into the thing? Into the thing?
The thing, yeah, I'll find my post verbiage that I use.
If you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. This was so good.
Thanks,
You
friend.
also have the calmest voice of like anyone. I feel like do you ever get angry? I feel like you probably talk like this when you're angry as well. Like, no? One of the things that I loved that you said was when you talked about don't ask if, like who do you know? Like, right? Not if you know someone, because you're right, like nobody ever, like if is way too like I'm kind of interested, and there's no call to action with it for sure. Let's see if there's any questions. Oh, just lots of, oh yeah, who versus if. Yep. Great info, wonderful verbiage. Google Business, they love that. Oh yeah. So on Google Business, what do you use for your business category when you were setting that up? Do you remember?
Let me look. To be 100% transparent, my husband set it up for me.
To be 100% transparent, that's really great. Yeah. Use the resources.
I love that.
Yeah, it is. I don't even know where to find that. See business profile. Boutique.
Boutique.
Obviously, I'm not selling stock. There is no stock advertised. It links to my PWS, but that's.
I love that. I also love how you called out some things as being passive, right? You were like, these are great things, because I think some people think that if they do those things, their business is going to thrive. And those are good things to do. But Like you can't rely on that. Before we lose anyone, can we take our group picture? We take a group picture every week.
Mhm.
Where's my
Yeah.
photographer? I think she's on here.
I'm coming. I'm
Yes,
sorry, I didn't have my snippet up yet.
You have
You
your
did
snippet
it early tonight.
I know, because I was afraid we were going to lose people. Like, not because you weren't good. I don't mean that we would lose people, but I mean, I'm just didn't want anyone to drop off. And because sometimes some people get upset they aren't in the pictures.
Yeah. Okay. We have 2 pages tonight. So I'll tell y'all when to smile for the first one and then give me a second and then we'll do second page. Okay. All right. Say cheese. Okay. That's good for the first smile. All right. On to page 2. You never know where you're at. So smile the whole time. That was what I was trying to say. Okay. Say cheese. Okay. You're good. Thank you so much. Oh, Kimberly, your babies are cute.
All right. Well, wait, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop oh, you guys, she dropped it in the chat. Hey, neighbors, it's your friendly neighborhood Scentsy lady. And I've got I love that. I'm just like going to take a screenshot of that really quick. One moment. I'll be right back with you.
Okay, so while you're taking the screenshot, I have
Yes.
to like repeat this quote in case you guys didn't catch it. Conversations are what's between where you are and where you want to be in your business.
Hold on. I got all sorts of little post-it notes going on my desk right now. Hold on. Say it again.
Conversations are what's between where you are and where you want to be in your business. And sorry if I messed it up a little, but that was the gist. It was good.
Can we redo page 2, please?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. One more time, folks. Say cheese. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
I'm like trying to write and take it. I'm going to stop the recording. Let's do that. You guys, if you didn't grab these screenshots, also there was, grab them from the chat if you didn't already. There was also one other thing that was, let's see, hold on. There was something else that caught my eye that you said. I think you were quoting Jess. Her. Meet new people or your business will fizzle. I'm going to stop the recording real quick.